We spoke to Josh Homme at Reading Festival, who tells us that he's going to be working with the Arctic Monkeys shortly on some new tracks. When are you off to the desert?
I don't know, they've said nothing to me.
Haven't they?
No.
Much of the record was produced by Josh Homme, who also fronts Queens of the Stone Age. In some ways, it seems like an odd pairing. What inspired working with him?
Well, we've always been big fans of his, like, ever since we started playing guitars, really, I think. And we were fortunate to meet him at festivals a couple of years ago, and we did a show together in Houston. And, you know, kind of, I suppose that's where, like, the relationship began. And then I think around that time we thought about asking him to go in the studio, perhaps, you know. And then we sort of, like, forgot about it a little bit, and then the idea was remembered to us by Lawrence Bell, our label.
Didn't you go to Norfolk to do some recording?
That was probably the start of the ball rolling. But so we did like 2 weeks there, getting new stuff together. Had a short recreational break to go to Latitude Festival as well while we were there. Carried on, and they became the demos and stuff that we worked towards.
So we spoke to him on the phone, and it was all, and we had these demos, and we sent them to him. To see that he's like, I'm sure it's good and that, but like just
to check,
you know,
what you
send
want
it. I just want to see like what page, you know. So then we sent him these things, and I think it was like 6 tunes or something. Like Pretty Visitors from the album was on there, and Dance Little Liar was the tune. In fact, I think he heard and was like, yeah, you got to come to Rancho de la Luna in Joshua Tree.
When did you go to the desert?
The first time I went was September
last year.
A year ago, which is amazing, really.
And you flew out to LA, and then he took
He took us in his big car. There's like a wall of mountains that you go through, and then you're at there, Rancho de la Luna.
You stayed in a hotel nearby, is that right?
Just at the bottom of the road, the Joshua Tree Motel.
The legendary hotel.
And the High Desert Motel as well.
So
across the road.
Over the 2 trips. The guy who owns it is this guy called Dave Catching, who plays guitar in the Eagles of Death Metal. And
it's his house.
It's his house, yeah. And he was a great host to us while we were there.
They recorded a lot of Humbug here. They did some incredible trippy stuff when they recorded here. They used Alan Johannes was one of the engineers,
yeah.
And he brought in his Vistalite Ludwig kit, like a big kit. And they did weird things where they would put like wood over the toms with the mic on the flip side. I don't know. They were doing some really interesting stuff to just trip it out. And I remember we opened the window behind us. It's a little too hot right now.
Yeah.
But they put this mic about 6 feet outside the window. That was part
of it. It's like a gunshot coming right out the window.
Yeah, so I don't know how much of that's in the mix, but yeah, they had a whole different vibe on what they were doing.
Then you went to, is it Pink Duck?
Pink Duck.
Yeah, that's...
Which is Josh's own studio.
Yeah, in LA. We did a bit there as well. A couple of them on the record as well. But then when we went back, we went back again, and we decided that the desert would be the place we wanted to spend the next session.
Right, and so then you returned then in December back to the desert.
Yes.
Funny you said Pink Dust before, actually, because when we were recording Crying Lightning, Jamie disappeared for about a day and a half or something. We didn't see him, and then he returned in like a poncho with a sort of strange pink dust on his shoulders, and seemingly under strict instructions to set his echoplex to a certain. Yeah, he had like he's like, I know the increments, I know where it should be, and then that's where his sound came from for Crying Lightning. Then got used on a bunch of tunes, actually. The Starcaster and whatever he'd been
give it a bit secret weapon.
Yeah, the pink dust sound. Spanish monologue, actually, that got cut from that song. The sort of jam bit at the end used to be like 3 times as long. And it was originally kind of supposed to be in the lyrics of the song, but I could never kind of fit a tune to it. If you were like, oh, well, you could speak it maybe, but I don't know, and that might be the next record. I'm not sure about that yet.
Interesting.
And then so we got Al to translate it to Spanish, because he can like speak 4 languages, and read it out, and it sounded like someone had left the Spanish telly on.
When you're drumming in Rancho de la Luna, are you in a separate room from everybody?
No, we're all in the same room. Right. We're all in there. It's very small, just some fairy lights and like windows, which is always nice in the studio. A little bit of natural light. But it was night time.
It's a love song. I think that kind of, and it was one that was sort of, it's been written for a while, and I wrote it sort of for someone else to sing initially. I think I was like, that was my plan, kind of hide behind something else. But then I think as kind of time went on, it's like, no, claim it back. Maybe just got a bit more bottle and thought, we'll do it. Playing Nirvana, Bleach, like a bit while we were like recording, or Doors, like the Strange Days album. Recording by the fire outside. Yeah,
did some vocals in the fire. Next.
It was talk of getting on the roof to do a vocal, but I don't know if that was just figuratively speaking, because I never actually climbed a ladder. But I don't know, it was just never mentioned again. So we had a song called Dangerous Animals for a couple of years, actually, I think, but it wasn't anything like this, and I think that was scrapped, and then like some sort of pieces of it were taken forward. Like that's like what I was saying before. Like I think that's has happened a lot until recently. There'd always be bits of things, and like that, things came from like a lot of drum beats that would always be kind of going on in sound checks or whatever, and there would sort of be this like Rolodex of rhythm.
If you saw the journey where some of these beats have been and gone and ended up, it's quite strange, it really is.
And then there's this great echo kind of chime at some point near the end.
Yeah, that's just like a little trick. Jamie again. I don't know if this came from the same sort of premonition as his other, but yeah, that's just like the submarine sound that he
recreated very well live, might I add.
Yeah.
And Josh does a bit of singing on Dangerous Animals, is that right?
Yeah, he does a bit, like, the harmonies. That's something he really
Yes.
encouraged us with, actually, like, kind of Nick and Matt and Josh would do a load of backing vocals. So, yeah, I really want to get more into that world. And then it was Christmas. We did that.
Yeah, and then you went to Australia.
Did the Australian thing, played a couple of these things that we've been working on.
Did you leave Joshua Tree sort of feeling like a record was completed, or did you already know that you wanted to work with James and that there was New York ahead of you?
We went on tour between them, the two sessions,
Right.
like the
You
Joshua
finished, so
Tree and
Joshua Tree was in the fall, right?
yeah, that was like October,
Yeah.
I think. Well, actually, the first time we went, and then we kind of stopped just before Christmas there, and then we went to Australia in January and played a bit, and I don't know if we knew straight away that we didn't have everything or not, because we still recorded like 12 tracks or something, or like in the desert and all that, and that side of things. But yeah, we probably knew we wanted to do a bit more, and then that's when James came in.
So with James, you went to Brooklyn, to New York, to a place called The Mission, is it?
Yeah,
Mission Sound.
We were in Brooklyn for quite a while, but and that were good as well. That was like another like completely different place for us to record.
We had Al.
We had Alan as well, still
So the same engineer that was
for a bit of consistent sound
there in California.
because he had like he played quite a big part in it all as well.
And is Alain? Is it?
Alan, yeah. So yeah, I mean, we took him and his drum kit.
The session with just them and James and me were great too. I had to take my Vistalite drum set, which Matt had fallen in love with during the recording of Humbug. And Mission Sound is a great studio, and everybody there was great. I think, they brought me over for continuity, obviously. I think there was enough cool stuff or things that we brought with us in terms of mentally feeling that how to connect them, by using whatever the coolest stuff that they had there, the organs and the weird synths and the weird spaces, and obviously the drum set was the same, and him playing that drum set had me miking it.
The album starts off with My Propeller, which is one of the more, I suppose, if people wanted to say which tracks were sort of more different sounding for you guys, I think that's one of them. Was it important to sort of like put that up front to sort of say, we are going to be doing something a bit different here? Because there's other tracks that are more, I guess you might say, traditionally kind of Monkey sounding.
I think because there is a few more like down tempo things, we wanted to put something like that, at the start. And I don't know, it's probably my favourite tune on there, and it was like a good feeling about that one. It just seemed like, it breathes a lot more. Like always, our first tracks have just been like, when like I guess with like the whole records mostly after there was something about it. We just didn't want to like rush into it.
No, there's a cracker about that tune, My Propeller, on the new album.
Yeah.
Like that there's some sort of, that it's some kind of
phallic undertone.
That's about your
euphemism.
It's not about your private memory.
No, that's describing a mood, I assure you, not an organ.
That's interesting because, in fact, there was a review in The Guardian that went on about it.
Everything's like, I was like, wow, really? And I was like, looking at the lyrics thinking, what? Yeah, I don't know. But it's quite funny, I suppose.
I want to ask
But yeah, I wouldn't be so.
You wouldn't be so
Salacious.
overt about your about your private.
Vulgar.
The live setup's slightly different. It's expanded by John Ashton.
Yeah.
Doesn't John feature on this track on My Propeller? Is it?
On the recording.
Yeah, on the recording.
Yeah.
He was out with us in Brooklyn.
He came to Brooklyn, yeah.
Right, and so he plays keyboards on this and backing vocals. So this is his first foray into recording with Arctic Monkeys.
That's right. Yeah.
And now he's part of the live setup. So I mean, he worked with you before? He was
The sound for us.
right. Okay.
Yeah. Sound engine.
Were you thinking about how you could play these songs live when you were recording, or did it ever cross your mind?
Yeah, I think that's why we had to get John Action in, because like obviously there's like a lot of organ and keys on it, and we were like, well, we're going to need a fifth member to make this like to like bring it across.
You must have been over the moon to be asked.
Yeah, I remember, yeah, it was quite funny when we
I think it was more like we feared not asking him if we got someone else. I think he'd have battered us.
Yeah, he did not forget. Yeah, the friendship would have been.
Was it emotional? Must have been emotional.
Yeah, I think Al did it in that way.
We were quite nonchalant.
Like he always does it. Just went, John, do you want to play keys for us? like that fast, and I'm like, what? Yeah.
I missed it. I had my headphones on and everyone was like toasting.
Magic moment.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what?
She said, tell my seatbelt, my shoulders to myself.
Secret Door, which has got this real pretty hook to it. I mean, that's one of the most sort of Scott Walker evocative to me. There's another song, it's Cornerstone. Yeah. Just got more kind of like acoustic, kind of rootsy thing going on. Did you like the idea of having a kind of a real mix of sounds? I think probably more so on this record than the last two.
There was a point where I didn't want to make it all really minor, and there was a part where it's like trying to like approach doing sort of something with like a pop element and like in a major key and like getting away with it. That seemed like a challenge. So yeah, that's I guess like those two are like your Cornerstone particularly, I suppose, is like quite a traditional like arrangement and structure and stuff, but
Where was this one recorded? Because I read two different things. On the
Integratron.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a version.
Right, but not this version.
No, that weren't a full band thing. It was just me walking around with a tambourine.
In a sonically sound dome.
In a perfectly sonic dome, yeah.
So there's this place called the Integratron. Which is half an hour from Rancho de la Luna.
Yeah. But then the album one was done in Brooklyn.
Right. Yeah. So you tried recording a version of this song.
Well, that one I don't think we were going to do. I don't know. I think that was more of just an experience and a day out that was just something an unmissable thing. We weren't necessarily thinking that was going to be on the album, just like a version of it and just just the experience of going there. I think.
And so then you recorded a different version in New York with James Ford.
The Secret Door, that's a song we've had for a couple of years, and like that's one of the things that had been like chopped and changed. And we always want like the beat on that was really important and kind of where it had come from. And but it sort of, you know, that like the idea of that being over the sort of big shift for the chorus at the end seems a bit weird, and it just, yeah, it was. I think that song's just the result of that. Feels like it's the only way it could have been recorded was with those changes where they are.
It's the quickest fire vocal on the record, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, it's kind of a lot more. The rest of it's probably, yeah, a lot more. I've been like singing.
Yeah, this is aggressive, quick fire kind of delivery.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind this song?
I wrote it kind of probably just before that, like when we did that recording of it.
Yeah.
And
Phil.
When I wrote that, and yeah, it came like from the.
It had to start with the fill. I mean, when I first heard that fill, I was looking at you guys like, is there an extra beat in there? Like, is there? I couldn't work it out.
The shadow of the strength is on the wall. All the pretty visitors came and waved their arms and cast the shadow of the strength on the wall. Came first, the chicken or the dickhead.
What you see when you're on stage in the shadow of the lights of a crowd.
That was where that came from. Like, it's in Germany once. The rest of it, I think, was written at a time, like Crying Lightning was the same sort of time, and I wasn't really, it was sort of just before that, and we'd been touring, and like I wasn't like sleeping. I'd always wake up like sort of the same time every night, whatever, and kind of just in those hours you sort of,
you got songs to write.
You just, I don't know, like even it seems like it won't count or something, so you'll just do whatever and then come back to it the next day.
We had this song called Jeweler's Hands, which we recorded in that the very first session. There was something that seems quite finite about that, in a way, like it should end this record, but it's sort of nodding towards the future, perhaps. But this song, it's the first time I've written anything at a piano as well, like, which I think leads you down a whole different, to a whole different like network of conclusions. But
and Jeweler's Hands was this other one, which ended up like being...
That's the departure for me on the rest. The one that's on the record that makes me just go, that's like the 505 on the last record,
Yeah.
It makes me go, oh, okay, something really interesting going on here.
We've never done a song like that, really, or spent that much time on...
Because we were doing it for about a week or something, like, and just this...
To get it right.
And
just kept building it, it was great.
What's it about, the Jeweler's Hands?
There's this other tune called Catapult that didn't end up on there, and they're like, that's like it's relative. But yeah, with the Jeweler's Hands and this tune Catapult was one of the only ones that did kind of have this central character, like this sort of, figure of wisdom, and and that's what those two tunes where we left like Catapult off in the end, just because like there was something about these 10 where they all kind of fitted together.
Songs. How many songs in all did you record for the album?
I think about 25.
Right, and you've whittled it down to just 10.
Yeah. On the album, I think there's like 7 to 3. Josh.
Right.
It's not a competition.
How did you make that decision?
Bit of both, John. Really, it's like I think we've always wanted it to sound like a record rather than a collection of songs, and so we always have like dozens of titles. Like when we've been, but they're normally sort of pretty ridiculous for the most of them. Like, I mean,
Lesbian Wednesdays.
Lesbian Wednesdays.
That was like I on a shortlist for second record as well.
Yeah.
We came back in for third, and then we didn't learn his lesson.
And then
Did someone shut down that Lesbian Wednesdays title?
Not as quick as you'd think.
No? Really?
No, that was like up there until
Yeah.
something else came along, really.
I really remember wanting to call his last record No Artificial Flavour
Yeah.
for a minute, which is fucking old. But we were really like, yeah, that's cool. Should we spell it Flava?
Yeah. Exactly.
And where, like, do you remember where and when the moment that the word humbug sort of
do.
came to mind? And where was
When
it?
we were in Berlin, not long ago. I think that's when we were having something to eat and we were talking about it and finding out what it meant.
There's some cracking alternatives. Yeah. If you thesaurus humbug,
yeah,
there's I'd say probably the best results. Taradiddle.
Dupery.
What is it?
Dupery, like to be duped.
Oh yeah.
Bilgewater.
That's another one. I think one was just Bosch as well.
Bosch,
yeah. These are all words.
Dupery is definitely a favourite though.
Yeah.
We wanted to call it, maybe we could call it Dupery for a minute, but then we didn't get the sort of ambiguity that you get with Humbug, because of course there's the stripy peppermint sweet.
Now, 3 albums is a watershed moment for bands. All of a sudden, you can be a bit choosy about what you're going to play.
Yeah,
you know,
good for a set.
Let me throw a few titles at you. Would you consider playing these songs still in your live set? Fake Tales. Not going to make it. Done. Done. Marty Bum.
Done.
Done. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some facets of that just kind of don't.
Yeah. Titty Picker.
It's done.
This is a critically acclaimed record, but some have said, well, there's not a lot of catchy songs on it. It doesn't have hit singles in the way that the others necessarily did. Is that something you care about? Do you want hit singles?
This is the first time there's a sense of like satisfaction having completed this album that I don't think we've achieved before. I think it's just like you'd always kind of quickly have niggles about the other records, whereas with this one, I don't know, it just feels, you just feel more satisfied with it. I suppose it's like, and maybe it's because you've been playing a little bit longer and you've heard more records, and so it's you can, I suppose, like master your ideas a bit more.